Vechain is worth 0.3631 rands per coin, with a current price range of 0.34730.3667 and an earlier day close of 0.3576. The move was plus 0.0055 plus 1.54 reverse rate. Zarto veterinary Vechain price expectation for the near future in month. Vechain price expectation on Wednesday, June 21, cost 0.33 rands high 0.35 low 0.31. Vechain price on Thursday, June 22 was 0.32 rands high 0.34 low 0.30. Vechain price on Friday, June 23 was 0.32 rands high 0.34 low 0.30, and Vechain price on Monday, June 12 was 0.32 rands high 0.34 low 0.30 in a multi-week price. Vechain price forecast for Tuesday, June 13 is 0.31 rands high 0.33 low 0.29. Vechain price forecast for Wednesday, June 14 is 0.30 rands high 0.32 low 0.28. Vechain price forecast for Thursday, June 15 is 0.30 rands high 0.32 low 0.28. On Friday, June 16, the Vechain gauge cost 0.31 rands, with a high of 0.33 rands and a low of 0.29 rands. On Tuesday, June 27, the Vechain gauge costs 0.33 rands, with a high of 0.35 rands and a low of 0.31 rands projected for Wednesday, June 28. Vechain gauge on Thursday, June 29 cost 0.33 rands high 0.35 low 0.31. Vechain forecast on Friday, July 4 cost 0.33 rands high 0.35 low 0.31. Vechain forecast on Tuesday, July 3 cost 0.34 rands high 0.36 low 0.32. Vechain forecast on Thursday, June 29 cost 0.33 rands high 0.35 low 0.31. Vechain forecast on Friday, July 4 cost 0.33 rands high 0.35 low 0.31. Vechain forecast on Friday, July 4 cost 0.33 rands high 0.35 low 0.31. Vechain forecast. Vechain cost expectation on Monday, July 3 cost 0.34 rands high 0.36 low 0.32, and about a monthly chain conjecture on Tuesday, July 4, cost 0.35 rands high 0.37 low 0.33. Vechain main cost expectation on Wednesday, July 5, cost 0.35 rands high 0.37 low 0.33. Vechain conjecture on Thursday, July 6, cost 0.36 rands high 0.39 low 0.33. Vechain value expectation for 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2027. Vechain cost expectation for June 27, 23. They arrived at the midpoint of cost 0.36 Vechain cost figure for the months and 0.34 change for June 15% at an initial cost of 0.40 rands. Vechain number for July 2023 began at 0.34 rands, went up to 0.39 rands, and finally reached at the midpoint of cost 0.34 Vechain figure for the months and 0.32 change for July 5.9%. They arrived at the midpoint of cost 0.32 Vechain figure toward the months and 0.32 change for August 0% Vechain figure for September 2023 after initially costing at 0.32 rands excessive cost 0.34 while low cost 0.30. They appeared at the midpoint of cost 0.31 Vechain costs guess toward the months and 0.31 change for September 3.1% Vechain cost assumption for October 2023 at the beginning expense at 0.31 rands extravagant expense 0.33 while minimal expense 0.29 rands needless expense 0.31 while minimal expense 0.24. They appeared at the cost midpoint 0.28 Vechain cost guess toward the months and 0.26 change for October 16.1% Vechain forecast for November 2023 at the beginning expense of 0.26 rands. extreme expense of 0.32 while minimal expense of 0.26, they appeared at the midpoint of cost 0.29 Vechain forecast for the months and 0.30 change for November, 15.4% Vechain forecast for December 2023 at the beginning expense of 0.30 rands above the top expenses 0.37, while rands below the bottom expenses 0.30. They appeared at the midpoint of cost 0.33 Vechain cost confinement toward the months and 0.35 change for December, 16.7% Vechain check for January 2024. Begin at 0.35 rands extreme expense 0.35 while minimal expense 0.27, the discovered the center worth of cost 0.32 Vechain cost measure toward the months and 0.29 change for January 17.1% Vechain cost assumption for February 2024. Begin at 0.29 rands extreme expense 0.29 while minimal expense 0.22, the discovered the center worth of cost 0.26 Vechain cost measure toward the months and 0.24 change for February 17.2% Vechain check for WAC 2024. Begin with a cost of 0.24 rands, then move on to a cost of 0.27 rands, then a cost of 0.23 rands, and finally a cost of 0.25 Vechain cost check for the months and 0.25 change for spring 4.2%. Vechain cost assumption for April 2024 to start at 0.25 rands excessive expense 0.27 while minimal expense 0.25 rands 0.23 the discovered cost center 0.25 Vechain quote toward the months and 0.25 change for April 0% Vechain estimate for May 2024 first and foremost cost at 0.25 rand excessive expenses 0.25 while local cost 0.21 but discovered the medium value of cost 0.24 Vechain cost figure toward the months and 0.23 change for May 8% Vechain cost projection for June 27-24. They arrived at the midpoint of cost 0.26 Vechain cost figure toward the months and 0.27 change for June 17.4% ZAR Devet swapping scale equivalent to 2.7542 coins per 1 rand the current reach 2.7272 minus 2.8794 the earlier days close to 2.7962 change. For now 0.04201.5% rand to Vechain figure on Wednesday, June 21st cost 3.030 coins, high 3.226 low 2.857 ZAR, to Vet expectation on Thursday, June 22nd, cost 3.125 coins high 3.226 low 2.857 high 3.